Hi guys, Woody here. I want to make a little video talking about my thoughts for the PTR. So you've probably seen the patch notes. If not, there's a link. And there's 3 new stats on the PTR right now, which is Barbarian, Wizard, and Witch Doctor. I've played all of those for a couple hours each, and I've also been testing a lot of mechanics. I actually made a Reddit post for each of them, highlighting those findings and also a little bit of my feedback. And now I want to put it all into a video so that you guys can hear about my thoughts as well. So I started with the Barb. I was quite excited about the Barb. It became it got like a frenzy set, and it has some cool mechanics. So the 2-piece is about buffing your shouts. So this includes Warcry and Battle Rage and the Threatening Shout. All these get a doubled effect for most runes, and that's actually quite strong. So this will be a buff to support barbs, but also the set itself is going to rely on fearing the enemies to deal double damage. And I think that's a pretty cool mechanic, but in practice it actually is quite hard to pull off most of the time. So I found that it really works very well as a finisher. So when you're fighting like a pack of monsters in a GR or like an elite, and you just fear them, then you just disperse them all, and you will lose all your armor damage, and sometimes you can't even chase the enemies because they're too fast. So yeah, the way to do this is to basically just use it as a finisher during convention cycle, or perhaps you could time a stun with the fear so that they actually don't run away. So stuff like this works. The exact details of like the pushing build will still have to be worked out. I assume there's going to be a stun plus fear. So you have like a ground stomp in there that also procs the Band of Might, for example. And then you can fear without having the trouble of chasing enemies. Other than that, I think the design of the set is good, but it's missing in gameplay, like interactivity. So it's basically just frenzy. You hold down left click and you do nothing else. And it doesn't really feel very exciting. You don't really have a lot of control over anything, because basically you just want to stack monsters as much as possible around you. You don't really move around, and you're generally quite tanky with like the setup you're supposed to play, I guess. And you don't really do much. It's just like left click everything to death. So you just find an elite and then hold down left click. And this was like one of my biggest concerns, that the build is too boring. So I suggested to add, like another skill, maybe some kind of like AoE finisher or combo or something. So something like Overpower could work, for example, or Revenge, which has never been used since vanilla. I think something like that could be cool. I also saw someone suggest something like Weapon Throw, which I also believe is a pretty cool idea. So for example, you could like fight enemies and get them really low or something. Then you fear them away, and then you start throwing weapons as they run away. So this actually has synergy with how the set plays. So I think that could also be a little bit more exciting. But overall, the set is not bad, but it's not good enough to beat Whirlwind. So I assume it's gonna max out at around somewhere tier 135 or so, maybe at 138. I don't know exactly. But yeah, Whirlwind is much higher than that. So Whirlwind is gonna go like 140 or so, 142. I know it's like on season, it's quite high. And yeah, so Frenzy doesn't really compete, but it's not bad. And well, there's obviously with the fast attack speed, the possibility to play a Riftguarding Killer Barb with the Frenzy, but the calculations so far show that it will be too slow. So compared to Necromancer, which is going to be very strong on season 20, and also the Crusader that we've already had, Barb will not be competitive, and yeah, probably not going to be used for a Riftguarding Killer. So there's that. I also tried to set up a little bit in T16. It was actually surprisingly good. It's not great. It's not really like overpowered, I guess, but it works. So if you want to farm T16 instead of Whirlwind, you can do the Frenzy. And I was actually kind of pleased with the results. But yeah, it's not really a farming build. So it really relies on stacking Stricken a lot. So it really only suits like solo pushing and Riftguarding killing, and there's not much else. You can't really speed farm decent tiers with it. Like even at tier 100 or so, it took me like 7 minutes. Okay, this was fairly unoptimized setup, but simply because you basically have to stack Stricken on every target you fight, besides T16, there's just not really a good way to include this in any speed farming setups. So it's only pushing, where you stack tons of Stricken on the target, or it's maybe some T16. So yeah, that's about that. So let's see what Blizzard is going to do with Barb. I'm excited if they, like change the gameplay a bit, add another skill or something to make it better, or maybe just straight up like number buff it to make it a Rift Guardian killer. But even as a Rift Guardian killer, it wouldn't be very exciting to play, because it would be even less to do as a Rift Guardian killer than playing it in a solo pushing setup, because there you literally you can't even fear Rift Guardians. You do nothing besides left click. So yeah. They need to do something to make it exciting, I think. So next up we have the Wizard. The Wizard set currently is bugged, and not only that, but also the channeling items is bugged. So first of all, you have to know that they nerfed Bazooka. It's gonna be dead now. So they gave Wizard a new set, which is focused around hydras, and they made it so that the channeling items only kick in after 1 second, which makes Bazooka unplayable. And now we have a channeling hydra build, and yeah, like it is also currently bugged on the PTR, so you see a lot of really high clears of Wizard, because with Arcane Torrent, your damage multipliers from Death Wish and Edge Sigil double dip, so you deal around 10 times too much damage, which is around 15 tiers. So yeah, you have to keep that in mind basically. And other than that, the new set is relatively good, but right now it's bugged, and the Hydras, basically every time you get hit, you lose a Hydra head, which is not supposed to happen when you have shields, and it's also not supposed to happen as fast as it does when you are getting damage from ground effects. Like there's no cooldown right now, so we have to wait to get the fix for that to really test it. But we can kind of estimate the power level already because of the LOD version of the build, which is almost the same. It just uses a different Hydra rune and some other items, but generally in power level it seems quite good. I assume it's also going to be like 135, 140 even solo clears. And yeah, the Wizard is in a pretty good spot, like also for groups. It's mainly a group build, so you shouldn't really take the solo clears at face value as like the power level of the set. It's mainly a group focus build because of the Hydras. You can set them up with Arcane Dynamo and some other stuff. You can do like Pain Enhancer and get really high stacks in group, and have like the support buff, stomp, lots of good stuff that really buffs the damage. While in solo this is not really so easy because the Hydras just shoot all over the place and are not really as effective. But the set I think also is lacking big time for the gameplay. We have like a channeling setup, and it's like channeling is way too good with this. So basically you want to set up the Hydras and then you just stand there and face tank and channel. Simply to get the buffs. Like it doesn't matter what you channel, you just need to get Edge Sigil and Death Wish. And to me this is very boring, and I think that the set should be a little bit more about some this active dodging gameplay, because the foresight bonus already incentivizes you to not get hit, and I think they could really do more of that instead of basically making it so that you just stack enough toughness so your shields don't break. So yeah, I think they should have like the LOD version maybe for a channeling setup, and then they have like a similar power level version with the set that prevents you from channeling. So this could be done by including another skill. A common suggestion is Blizzard, for example. Also a lot of people like mirror images, or just more like the familiar stuff. There's like a couple of possibilities, definitely. I also tried some non-channeling setups, for example with Twister. That was quite fun. I used Rancel's Folly to stack monsters on top of my Hydras with a Twister. I was just like doing like some tanky setup with Spectral Blade. I was doing some just kiting gameplay with Black Hole. They could also make the setup with Black Hole. Who knows? But it's really missing something, and it's not just a fix to the 4-piece. It's really not exciting, and I really hope they change something about it. Because if they don't, even with the fix to the 4-piece bonus that the Hydras don't disappear all the time, it's kind of underwhelming and it's boring. And LOD version will probably be better, because they made it so that LOD works with the Mammoth Hydra, but the set doesn't, because the set only buffs multi-headed Hydras, and the Mammoth rune is the strongest rune, but it's not a multi-headed Hydra, so it doesn't work with the set. And the Mammoth Hydra lags as hell. And if you're gonna play Foreman with a Hydra Wizard, which is relatively likely, yeah, you're not gonna have fun. So I really hope that you do something about the set to make it slightly better than LOD. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, other than that, for farming setups, I think Hydra Wizard is also going to be quite good. But we will see what will really be the setup. On season, most likely we're going to do red runs for XP, but Hydra Wizard could be good. Or also the Witch Doctor. So I think Hydra Wizard and the Witch Doctor with the new set are going to be very competitive. It's hard to say right now what is going to be better, but yeah, probably both will clear 150. So good times ahead for those two classes. And speaking of Witch Doctor, we have the last set, which is the Mundunugus Regalia for Witch Doctor. I really love that name. And it's focused around Spirit Barrage. Overall, this seems like to be like the most complete set, the most like overall exciting playstyle. I really enjoyed playing it. I'm just a little bit sad that it's Spirit Barrage again. Even though I haven't played the previous Spirit Barrage build, it's basically exactly the same, just like much stronger. So we had Spirit Barrage in, I don't know, a couple seasons ago, I think season 12 or so. And yeah, this is like almost the same build. And other than that, the build overall feels great and it looks awesome. It has a good T16 version, so Witch Doctors are finally good in T16. You don't have to feel bad for inviting one. There's just some suggestions that I made, and mainly is like the most important part really is that I have to fix the lags, because we already know that Witch Doctor is gonna lag as hell as well in groups, and I even saw SVR lag out in solo. So this really has to be fixed. And I gave some suggestions to that, for example, by reducing the tick rate of the phantasms. So the way that the set works is you put down these phantasms on the ground. They're basically like a timed AoE effect, and they do like damage every half a second basically. And this creates a lot of damage instances, and obviously a lot of lag for that. So my suggestion was to just reduce the tick rate of those phantasms, and perhaps even remove the dependency on Ring of Emptiness. So since it's not a pet build, you have to use Ring of Emptiness in Great Rifts, so you have to spam Locust, Swarm, and Haunt, which makes the build fun to play. But in groups, this is gonna be very, very laggy, because they have 2 dot effects plus Pain Enhancer, actually a 3rd dot effect, really lagging you out. I hope they're gonna do something about it. Otherwise, the set is fine. It's also fairly balanced. I would guess that high-end clears will also go at around 138, 140 or so. It's not really a solo build again. This is mainly a group build because it works very well in 4-man. You simply have a lot of benefits in groups, because Witch Doctor is bad at pulling stuff. Witch Doctor is squishy. You don't have Pain Enhancer, and Pain Enhancer actually has like basically triple dipping DPS effects because of the attack speed buffing your phantasms that scale linearly with your increased attack speed. Plus you have the Rush of Essence passive giving you more mana regen, which buffs the 6-piece bonus's damage amplification. And yeah, you simply do so much more damage. And yeah, Witch Doctor is going to be quite strong, probably stronger than the Wizard, but that remains to be seen. We don't know exactly. We know what the meta will be, obviously with some potential changes coming up. But it's definitely working well. And also in solo, I'll probably play Witch Doctor and push for Witch Doctor, because it definitely seems the most exciting so far. Yeah. And for the T16, I mentioned it has a good T16 setup, which is mainly based around Manitou. So you just basically just rush around, and you cast these phantasms once in a while, and yeah, it's basically a very passive playstyle. You just run around while the Manitou shoots automatically. It's quite fun. It looks awesome. I really like it, and it's gonna be great. And yeah, we will see what they do with Witch Doctor. I assume they're not gonna do much. I just hope they're gonna do some fixes to the lags, and yeah, the rest remains to be seen, I guess. So as I mentioned in the beginning, I have some Reddit posts with like more mechanics and so on. I didn't really want to repeat like every single thing here now, but you can read up on those if you're interested, and maybe leave your opinion. And you know, like, yeah, I tested like all the stuff that you need to know basically if you want to play any of the new sets. So check it out, and you'll probably like understand how the builds work better. And I will also like make actual guides once the season start approaches. Especially for Witch Doctor, I'm quite excited. But I'll probably cover all of them. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, hope you liked this little overview here. And I'll probably stream and make another video again if there's like a big patch for PTR. And we can probably provide, you know, more feedback and see what they're gonna do. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you next time.